Hello and welcome everyone. Eternals has finally been released in theaters, and it appears to set up some new Marvel projects through its ending and post-credits scenes. Yep, there are two end credits scenes to stick around for, but you should know that Marvel loves to tease us by now. But what exactly do they tease? And how does this fit into the wider MCU? I'll attempt to answer those questions with our comic book knowledge, as well as what I know from Marvel's other movie and TV productions. There will be major spoilers, so yes, spoiler alert. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will never miss an upcoming update. With that out of the way, let's get started with the video. After defeating the Deviants and preventing Tiamat's emergence, which was an event that would have destroyed the Earth, the Eternals prepare to go their separate ways again. Or so they think. Sersi reunites with Dane Whitman in London, but just as Dane is about to tell Sersi about his own family secret, the skies darken. Arishem the Judge, the Eternals' creator and Lord of the Celestials, suddenly appears through the clouds, which scatters the assembled crowd. Furious with the Eternals for stopping the birth of a new Celestial, namely Tiamat, Arishem grabs Sersi and takes her into space, before doing likewise with Kingo and Phastos. Surprisingly, though, Arishem tells Sersi, Kingo, and Phastos that, despite their betrayal, he won't exact judgment on Earth or its human population for the time being. But he will return and make a decision on whether humanity deserves to live or die. Arishem departs with his captives, and the skies over London clear. The camera zooms in on a shocked Dane before the screen cuts to black. Confused? Thankfully, Marvel's comics hold the key to explaining why Arishem may return to Earth and exact judgment on humanity. The Celestials, who created the Marvel Universe, regularly return to planets that support intelligent life. When they do, they check to see how each world's dominant species, which they created, is progressing. If they aren't evolving fast enough, or if they've followed the wrong path, such as enslaving other species on their planet, the Celestials destroy that world's dominant species and start over. These occasions are known as host events. So it seems that an Eternals sequel might be centered around Arishem's return to judge whether humanity should be allowed to survive. There's no guarantee that Eternals 2 will happen, though. Eternals producer Nate more recently told the Toronto Sun that a sequel was the must-have, so we'll have to wait and see if a follow-up is forthcoming. Now let's talk about mid-credits scene. Eternals mid-credits scene takes place on the Domo, the supergroup spaceship. Thena, Makkari, and Druig, who departed Earth in order to find other Eternals, are concerned that they haven't heard from Sersi and company in weeks. Suddenly, the trio's conversation is interrupted by an unknown individual. They prepare to fight their ship's invader, but he introduces himself as Pip, who is voiced by Patton Oswalt. Pip, though, isn't the mid-credits scene's major reveal. Stepping back, he announces the arrival of Thanos' brother, Star Fox, also known as Eros the Titan, who is portrayed by none other than Harry Styles. He tells the trio that he can help to locate Sersi and the others, before revealing that he's also in possession of one of the Celestials' communication devices. And then the screen cuts to black again. So who's Star Fox? As I said, he's Thanos' brother, but unlike the MCU first big bad, Star Fox isn't a deviant. Instead, he's an Eternal who possesses numerous abilities. These include superhuman strength, speed, endurance, flight, and the ability to control other people's emotions. As for Pip the Troll, his first comic appearance was in February 1975. He was initially a villain who fought Adam Warlock. Pip becomes an ally of Marvel superheroes, including Silver Surfer. His only superpower is the ability to teleport, though, so he's not exactly useful in major battle. Will the pair fit into the MCU? It seems that Star Fox could play a key role in an Eternals sequel, if he knows where Arishem has taken Sersi. Kingo and Phastos, the other Eternals, will need his help. It'll also be interesting to learn where Star Fox's Eternals group is, given that he and Pip are the only ones who appear before Thena, Makkari, and Druig. Are his allies dead, or simply waiting for the duo to return with more Eternals? That's currently unclear, but we wouldn't be surprised if it's the former. This is the MCU after all, so while Star Fox may give off the impression that he's a confident, fun-loving ladies' man, he may have some deep-seated trauma that may be revealed in the future. Alternatively, Star Fox and the Eternals could find themselves teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel loves its superhero crossovers, and, as we stated above, Pip has a comic book history with Adam Warlock, who's set to appear in Guardians 3. Could we see an intergalactic team-up between the two groups in a battle against the Celestials? It's possible, although the current Guardians team won't be the one that might tackle Arishem and company. Guardians 3 director James Gunn has already confirmed that the current lineup won't survive past the series' third installment. Still, it would be fun to see it happen. Now let's talk about post-credit scene. Once the credits have rolled, we're reunited with Dane Whitman. He's in his office at London's Natural History Museum, and he's standing in front of his desk with a lengthy, rectangular box sitting on it. Dane psyches himself up to open it, and he lifts the lid to reveal a rather menacing-looking black sword that's wrapped in bandages. Evil whispers dissipate into the air after he opens the box, too, which doesn't fill us or Dane with confidence. Dane reads an inscription on the inside of the box, "Death is my reward," before he apologizes to an unnamed individual and says, "I have to try." No sooner has he finished his sentence, however, than a mysterious off-screen character makes themselves heard. "Are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" the person asks. Dane spins around to see who it is, and yes, you've guessed it. The screen cuts to black. If you've been keeping up with Eternal's development, you'll know what this scene teases. If you're unfamiliar with the source material, though, allow me to explain. In the comics, Dane is the latest Whitman family descendant, and he holds a particularly ominous title, the Black Knight. This individual possesses the Ebony Blade, a mystical sword, the Black Blade that we mentioned above, no less, created as a dark counterpart to Excalibur, King Arthur's legendary sword. It grants superhuman abilities to its user, including the ability to deflect magic, quickly heal a user's wounds, manifest shadow armor, cut through physical objects, and absorb all forms of energy. But the Ebony Blade carries a curse. The original Black Knight, Nathan Garrett, who was Dane's uncle, was a supervillain, and the blood that he spilled led to the blade becoming cursed. After he assumes the mantle, though, Dane vows to use it for good, even though the Ebony Blade's curse feeds on the negative traits of its wielder. So it seems that much of the Black Knight's comic origins will carry over into the MCU. I suspect that Dane will wield the Ebony Blade to try and save Sersi, but he'll need to enter the MCU more mystical realms to do so. Could that lead to a crossover with magic wielders like Doctor Strange or Shang-Chi? In my view, it's entirely possible. But there is someone else that he may team up with first. As for who the mysterious off-screen person is, it's none other than Mahershala Ali's Blade, with Zhao confirming as much in an interview with Fandom. Does that mean we'll see Dane team up with the vampiric superhero in the latter's upcoming solo movie? I certainly hope so. When asked about Dane's future MCU appearances, producer Nate Moore told comicbook.com that it's something that we get to play with down the road. So it seems that Dane will be crossing over into a few other Marvel productions. Alternatively, the Black Knight could get his own spin-off. We'd be down for a Black Knight Disney Plus series, and given that other Marvel movie supporting characters have gone, or will get, their own spin-offs, the Black Knight seems like the perfect candidate for a similar treatment. Hopefully, it won't be too long before we find out more. And with that, we will bring this video to an end. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.